An American investigative journalist who claims that swine flu strains have been engineered in 2 universities in the US and Canada says they've been deliberately designed to resist vaccines. Wayne Madsen also says that his so-called nightmare scenario in which swine flu could mutate with bird flu has been suppressed by the World Health Organization for political reasons. He joins me now, live from Washington. Wayne, what exactly is your accusation then? Are you saying that swine flu was actually manufactured? Why on earth would anyone want to do that, and why? What, and who?
Well, there's a variety of reasons for that. One is, of course, that it would increase sales for new vaccine manufacturers in the pharmaceutical industry. The other would be to just create this worldwide crisis. We know a lot of people thrive economically on crisis situations. I reported in May that after speaking to people who are researching, these are scientists researching this new hybrid flu, that it was basically engineered from genetic material taken from a dead Inuit woman who died of the 1918 pandemic, also known as the Spanish flu. Now, what one researcher told me after investigating this particular flu is that this is a subtype A influenza. It contains an enzyme called a polymerase, which exists in all subtype A influenzas, including the seasonal human flu, the current hybrid flu, and avian flu. It was determined that this particular flu was gene spliced from 2 forms of human flu, 2 forms of swine flu, and 1 form of human flu. The problem is when they looked at the molecular clock of this enzyme, they determined that it was rapidly mutating in humans. The problem with that is, of course, any new mutated version of this particular virus would be immune to any vaccine already created to handle the previous type of virus. So,
are you sure you can actually prove that, Wayne? Let me just interrupt you there. You're saying that this virus could actually be deliberately made to be vaccine-proof. I mean, how can I be sure of that?
Well, the research community has determined this, and the nightmare scenario, of course, is that these mutations would occur, and now we have reports from both Brazil and Germany that, in fact, this swine flu or hybrid flu, or what this Centers for Disease Control here in the United States called a novel flu, is in fact mutating and mutating rapidly in humans.
Well, of course, you describe this as a nightmare scenario, and where we have swine flu and bird flu joining together, mutating. Now, some watching this might say this is a load of nonsense, that pigs might fly indeed, but this really is a kind of flying pig flu, isn't it? But what would you say to those who say this is nonsense and can't happen?
Well, the information I received from the influenza researchers in May seems to be coming true. The two predictions made were that it was going to mutate. That, in fact, is now happening based on the reports out of Brazil and Germany. The other thing is that the prediction was in a couple of months, most countries in the world would be experiencing cases of flu, and within the last couple of days, we now have the first cases being reported in the South Pacific and Africa, in Ethiopia, Cape Verde, Ivory Coast, and fairly remote places like Vanuatu and Samoa and Papua New Guinea. So the predictions are holding true from what I was told by researchers in May.
And you're also claiming, Wayne, just finally, that the World Health Organization is aware of this nightmare scenario, as you call it, and is actually suppressing all this. Now, how do you know that? And why would they be suppressing such an alarming situation if it is true?
Well, I was told by the research community that there were 2 meetings on this particular strain of flu, one in Vietnam and one in Hong Kong. Both of those were unusually closed to the public and to the press. That was a unique situation. The other thing is that we may be on something here that begs of a criminal investigation. The 4 labs that I was told are involved in this development, the genetic development, this particular influenza are the Biosafety Level 4 Laboratory at the University of Wisconsin in Madison, the Armed Forces Pathology Institute in Rockville, Maryland, and the U.S. Army Infectious Disease Laboratory in Fort Detrick, as well as the National Institutes of Health in Bethesda, in addition to the National Microbiology Laboratory in Winnipeg in Canada. It would seem that with the feeling that this could have been genetically engineered on purpose, that this begs of a FBI and Royal Canadian Mounted Police investigation. But then again, if the FBI were to ever engage in a legitimate investigation, that would come to a shock to many, as a shock to many people, including a number of FBI agents.
Some startling views there. Wayne Madsen, thanks very much indeed for joining us live from Washington, D.C.